Story begins with the manhwza video, in which a massive human bug is seen in the bushes. Students of a college in Canton are talking about the video. One of the students says it is cool to be a human with insect wings, like one of those mutated superheroes in action movies. Such, and Jin, grabs the phone and says it's freakish to him about a pair of bug wings. Suddenly, a girl hugs him and kisses him. He says to his fellows he is a popular guy in college with 5,000 Instagram followers. He enjoys his college life and never does anything to compromise it. Mikue calls Sachin and asks him for lunch. They all are going for lunch. Suddenly, Sachin feels uncomfortable, says sorry to his fellows for not joining the lunch, and walks away home. On the way, he feels himself scraping the barrel for excuses. Now he has a secret that he can never reveal to anyone. He reached home and takes off his shirt. He has a pair of wings on his back. He remembers how it started with a single dragonfly back in junior high. He was spraying on dragonflies, and they turned into dust, and he inhaled the dust. He fainted, and when he woke up, he had wings on his back. Frightened, he decided to overcome his fear. Sachin is in college now and wants to change. After the incident, he tucked his wings, styled his hair and clothes, and became friendly to everyone. He decided he can't let anybody find out about his truth, especially Mikue. The doorbell rings, and Mihue is at the door. They both shout to see each other. He asks Mihue what she's doing here. She tells him the boys want a drink at his place, and they give his address. He tells Mihue to leave him, but she denies it. Mihue insisted he goes outside with her. She recalls their memories and becomes sad. After this, Sachin comes outside, and they go to a movie in the cinema. He has multiple thoughts about his secret. Suddenly, lights off, and a man comes to the room and tells everybody to leave. A monster enters the room and kills everyone. He pushes out Mihue from the window. Sachin is so much scared about his truth, but he didn't care and jumps from the window to save Mihue. Everyone knows his secret, and this is his desperate fight for survival. The crowd near the building captures Sachin flying when he saves Mihue. The monster gets angry when he sees him hovering and came to know that he is a dragonfly. He wants to kill him. Meanwhile, he takes Mihue to the nearest hospital as she bleeds. A mysterious girl came to the monster and warns him that they have to be invisible. After 1 month, students are still talking about that movie theater incident. Sachin thinks people don't think this kind of freak news seriously, but still, it's happening all over again. His childhood memories hit him. He was an orphan and had no friends then, and now it's the same story. He didn't have the joys of life. He sees his Instagram account. He is no more a popular guy. He sees Mihue's Amen, though she is always with her in any situation, and became happy. He goes to the hospital to see her. When he meets her, she starts shouting monster and unfollowing him. Sachin is so hurt. 1 month later, he is still alone and tries to kill himself. He jumps from the building but starts hovering and curses the wings. Suddenly, a mysterious girl came and tells him there is a way to become a normal human being again. He is shocked. The girl tells him to fulfill some of the requirements. She tells him about jungle juice and takes him to her college nest campus. He is so shocked by seeing so many people like him. He meets there that mysterious man who kills people in the theater. Sachin is very surprised to see this place. Everyone there has been infected by jungle juice. While roaming the campus, he meets an old man who is eating insects. It's weird for him. He meets Daban Ma, Nest University professor. Professor thanks Huijin Park for bringing him here. Professor shows him how he becomes a normal human being again. They start viewing the video clip of the graduation ceremony of the university. The final segment is representing the top graduate with the promise of Cinderella. In the video, a monster drinks something and turns into a normal human being. Sachin is so much shocked and asks the professor what was that thing. The professor tells him they researched jungle juice and made a solution named Cinderella. He wants that solution, but the professor tells him to enroll in university and graduate at the top of his department. He agrees and registers himself in Professor Doyenma's course. He finds Huygen is the class president of practical entomology. Professor John Jai comes to meet Professor Doyenma and asks about Sachin's registration. Registration starts. Everyone disappears. Professor John Jai tells registration starts like this, and everyone uses their tactic of survival because, in the end, only the strong will survive. Course registration begins. Sachin is so curious about what's happening. A little honeybee boy comes to him and helps him. He tells him here registration is a bit different from regular colleges. Professors hide somewhere in the mountains, and they have to find them to register for their course. The professor hands out USB drives to the first 16 students who find them and plug them into laptops for registration. Both wish the best of luck to each other and are on the way to finding their professors. Sachin starts flying and quickly he finds flags on the mountains. Meanwhile, everyone is fighting with each other for USB drives. He ignores them and flies to find Professor Doyle. Finally, he finds him. The professor appreciates his strategy of a quick flight and gives him the last USB drive. He tells him to return to the lab and plug it into the laptop and warns him not to lose it. Sachin is so much happy as he is one step closer to becoming a normal human being. Professor Doyen sends the message that everyone who gets the USB drive is now the target of everyone. Everybody gangs up on Sachin and wants his USB drive. He starts running to save himself. Suddenly, a little honeybee boy comes and saves him from other students. Sachin thanks him, but he betrays him and steals his USB drive. He fights back to get his drive back. Students with USB drives are done with the registration. On the other hand, Sachin fights for his USB. He punches the little honeybee boy harder. He fainted and throws his USB. He is trying very hard for his drive. Suddenly, a girl comes and takes his drive. He is confused about whether he should save the little boy or run after the girl for his USB. But still, after all this, he didn't leave the boy to die. That's inhumane. He is screwed after losing his USB and faints. Suddenly, Professor Junjai woke him up, giving him a piece of paper and says him don't forget to recycle it. Sachin is so much sad as everything seems to be ending. He has multiple thoughts in his mind and starts to curse him. He is getting angry and can't believe this situation. Professor John Jai tells him to take care of this paper when his own life is screwed. Then suddenly, he sees there is the USB in this paper folding. Professor Junjai reminds him there are just 5 minutes more for registration. Hurry up. Sachin starts flying faster. Some students in the jungle try to stop him from registering practical entomology. Freshman students named Doi-chan and Hayes Young-cha save Sachin from the students, as Professor Doyen already texts them to save him. Finally, Sachin reaches at a time and registers himself. As soon as he finishes registration, he receives a notification of class orientation.